Hello everyone. The story I'm going to share today is the Virtuous father and his benevolent son. Zhongyan was born in 989 AD. He lost his father when he was young and was raised by his mother. He became known as politician, writer, military strategist, and educator in the Northern Song Dynasty. Zhongyan had an aspiration to do something grand, even when he was a little boy. Once during a trip, he met a fortuneteller and asked, "Please help predict my fate. Can I be the prime minister in the future?" The fortuneteller had never heard of this kind of question, especially from a little boy. In shock, he said, "You are still so young. Why are you so ambitious?" Feeling embarrassed, Juan told the fortuneteller, "Never mind, how about being a doctor?" The fortune teller asked, "Why did you choose these two professions in first place?" Fan replied, "If I cannot be a good prime minister, then I want to be a good doctor. These two positions both work to save people." After hearing this, the fortune teller was deeply moved by this little boy's intentions. He told him, "The kind heart you have is truly a prime minister's heart. For sure, you will be a prime minister in the future." After Fan grew up, with his morals, he also set an example for his children. He even named his son Chunren, which means purely benevolent. In his early years, Zhongyan lived and studied in a room at a temple. One time, he found a bag of gold in the backyard. At that time, he was very poor and sometimes even starved. But he never thought of keeping the gold for himself. Instead, he buried it on the temple grounds. Several years later, he passed imperial examinations and was ready to be granted a position at state level. A monk from that temple came to him and asked for alms. He said, "All right, I will donate a lot of money to your temple." The monk felt surprised and didn't really believe what he was told, and thus asked, "You just passed the imperial examinations and have not yet to start work. So how can you promise to give me so much money?" Fan told him the place where the gold was buried, and the monk found it and gave the gold to the temple. Zhongyan owned a piece of land located on the auspicious side, which meant that the land was Dragon Cave. People believed that if that people could be buried in this land, later generations of the family would be prosperous and have good fortune. Zhongyan believed the location was a good place to study because it was near water and mountains. So rather than keeping it for himself, Fan donated it to the government for building the school, and its address still exists in Suzhou today. For close to 1,000 years, there had been about 400 scholars and more than 80 champions from this school. One time, Zhongyan's son Chunren was asked to escort 5,000 kilograms of wheat to their hometown in Jiangsu province. On his way, he met one of his father's old friends. During the conversation, he learned that this friend's family was very poor, and he could not even afford to bury his parents who had died. In addition, the friend's daughter had not yet married because of the family's lack of money. His father's friend really needed a big sum. Chunren immediately sold all the wheat, but the money was still not enough. Then he sold a boat that was used to carry the wheat, and thus solved the problem of his father's friend. After having returned to the capital, while having dinner with his father, Chunren reported the issue to his father. Chunren said, "I sold the entire 5,000 kilograms of wheat, but the money was still not enough." The father raised his head and said, "Then you should have sold the boat." Chunren said, "I already did so." To help others, Zhongyan and his son were ready to sell their wheat and boat. Their deeds of high virtue have passed down for 800 years. Fan Chunyan was not only upright and kind to others, but also very good to his parents. After he passed provisional level examination, he was appointed to be county magistrate of Wujin. He refused to take up the position because he thought that would be too far away from his parents. Later, he was asked to be the magistrate of Changge County, but he still refused to go. Fan Zhongyan said, "You said Wujin was too far away, but now Changge County is closer. What else can you say?" Fan Chunyan replied, "How can I take the salary more important than my parents? Although Changge County is closer, I would still not be able to take care of my parents." Later, Fan Chunyan became the governor of Qing State. During that time, a famine was raging. Many people were dying of hunger. So Fan Chunyan decided to open a grain barn to distribute grain to the local people. His subordinate officials reminded him that he needed to report it to the imperial court first and wait for the emperor's approval. Fan Chunyan said, "It will be too late by the time it's approved. Seeing that many people are about to starve to death, we have no time to waste. Open the barn immediately. Whatever will happen, I will bear all the consequences myself." After the famine period had ended, he was accused of failing to have accurately reported the number of victims of the famine. The emperor sent a group of officers to investigate. During that fall, there was a great harvest of grain. The people happily said to Fan Chunyan, "You have indeed saved us from a serious famine. How could we let harm happen to you?" So the farmers worked day and night, and by the time the envoy arrived, the granary was fully stocked, and there was not even a shortage of a single grain. Later, Fan Chunyan was sent to Zhi State as a governor. People in Zhi State had low morals and behaved like dogs. They openly robbed each other. Some local people told him, "These people are criminals, and no punishment can stop them. You are so good to them, and if you don't punish them severely, their illegal behavior may become more rampant and more difficult to control." Chunyan said, "Our human nature is kind and merciful. The more cruel and severe punishment on them will be, the more barbaric and violent they will become." Chunyan suggested to the judge, "Why not release these prisoners? Let them, after their release from the prison, pay back the money they had stolen." The judge said, "If they are released, they will do more illegal things. The government put them into the jail. Eventually they get old and sick and will die in jail. Officials believe that this is the only way to protect innocent citizens." Chunyan said, "According to the law, they should not be sentenced to death, although they are hated by others. Is it legal to handle these cases like this?" So gave an order to have all thieves be gathered in the main hall. He told them that he was giving them a chance to change themselves, to work hard in order to pay back the money they had robbed from others. At the same time, he warned them not to break the law again while free. Then he released them all. Within the following year, criminal cases dropped to 50%. Later, whenever people came to ask Fan Chunyan for advice, he said, "Only if you are honest and kind will people follow you and have integrity. Only if you are kind and tolerant, people's morality will improve." From the life of Fan Zhongyan and his son, we can see that a magnanimous man will always be blessed with the fortune he deserves. Facing the current world situation, we cannot help thinking that if everyone behaved like this father and his son, the world would be a better place. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if just subscribing. Thank you again.